In this video, we're gonna build this gaming PC using the cheapest 1080p graphics card on Amazon. Let's get it. In this video, I'm gonna build this cheap gaming PC featuring a video card from Team Green, coupled with a blazing fast 4-core Ryzen CPU, before looking at some gaming benchmarks at 1080p and 1440p, so you get a good idea what kind of frame rate to expect with a PC build like this. But with that said, let's go ahead and put this cheap gaming PC build together. Let's go ahead and unbox the motherboard. The DS3H lineup from Gigabyte is a favorite of mine. Both the B450M as well as the B550M have 5th gen Ryzen and 4 DIMM slot support. All of this starting at $70, and that is a lot of great value for sure. But yeah, anyway, let's go ahead and unbox the CPU. For this ultra cheap gaming PC monster, I'm picking the 4-core Ryzen 3 3300X or the 6-core Ryzen 1600AF. Both performs excellent when paired up with a $200 to $300 graphics card, but yeah, the 1600AF performs about 12 to 16% slower than the 4-core 2300X, but this is when you pair it with a high-end RTX 2080 graphics card. When we're looking at a graphics card for 1080p and 1440p gaming, both these CPUs are excellent choices for a budget gaming PC build like this. To install the CPU, we need to match up the triangle located at the left side corner with a triangle or a circle we find on the motherboard. Simply lift up the metal arm, line up the triangles, and then gently place the CPU in its socket, something like so. Then lower the lever and the CPU, is installed. The CPU cooler pick is, quite easy here. We're trying to build the ultimate budget 1080p gaming machine here. So picking the heatsink that comes included in the CPU box is a no-brainer. And it actually does a pretty good job keeping our system cool and quiet, even during, long sessions of gaming. Now the installation process is super simple. Make sure that the AMD logo is facing the I/O and that the 4 spring screws align with the screw holes. Then tighten the cooler down in a pattern something like so. And that is it. Next up then is the M.2. Now this is a budget unit from Kingston that I've been using for most of my budget PC builds. It comes in 250, 500 as well as a 1TB variant, where the 500GB one sits at a modest $60. Definitely worth every penny when it comes to price to performance. Now the M.2 easily slides into its socket with a sort of a 45-degree angle and will be fastened using the M.2 screw that comes pre-installed. Moving on guys to system RAM. Now a 2x8GB kit can be found for around $70, while a single 8GB stick sits at around $40. And if you want addressable RGB, that tends to add a few extra dollars. Now I'll link up my top favorite deal down below for you guys. And with that said, let's go ahead and get a good look at the case then. This is the 400D from Corsair, a sleek and minimalistic case that comes in at around $80. Now Corsair has several models built on the 4000D. We got one called Airflow. This variant comes with a ventilated front for optimal cooling performance. The model I'm using in today's video is the solid one. As we can see here, we're getting two 120 fans, and we find lots of holes for easy cable routing, and overall plenty of expandability and space here. And I gotta be honest here guys, I really like this case, not gonna lie. Now before we go ahead and install the motherboard, we first need to install this I/O shield that we find inside the motherboard box, and this sort of creates the link between the back of the case and the motherboard itself. Then we can go ahead and secure the motherboard. And these screws you see here guys can be found inside the box that comes with the 4000D. Next thing guys, we're going to install our power supply before it is time to install the graphics card. But first guys, let's go ahead and deal with the case cable. This is for the power button as well as the front I/O, and that is so that we don't have to worry about this stuff later. First up we have this connector. This is for USB 3. And this is what it looks like. The connector is located down at the bottom of the motherboard. Moving on to the front audio, and this cable goes to the left side corner. Lastly we have these small front panel connectors, and we find this connector on the lower right side. Now we can go ahead and grab the power supply and simply slide it into its slot with the fan facing downwards and secure it. Now we're gonna do just 2 more cables to be exact before it is time to install our graphics. First up, yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of the big one. This is the 24-pin power cable, and this goes to the connector we find on the mid-right side of the board. Next up we got this cable. This is to feed power to the CPU, and it goes all the way up to the top left side corner. Also, side note here guys, if you decide to pick up the B450M, make sure to add a Y-split fan cable, as the motherboard only has one case fan header. Alright guys, it is time to go ahead and install the graphics card. Now this is the GeForce GTX 1660 from Asus called Dual. Now the 1660 packs 6GB of G5 memory, and it is powerful enough to run pretty much any game out there, and 1080p high settings with pretty good frame rate as can be seen. The GPU supports DX12, but like the rest of the GPU lineup, it obviously lacks both ray tracing and DLSS support. Now having a look at the 1660 performance, then again similarly priced competitors and predecessors, we see that this GPU still holds up pretty damn good in today's modern games, making it an obvious pick for a budget gaming PC like this in 2021. Now if we look at the 1660 performance, running 18 of some of the most popular games at 1080p and 1440p, yeah, shows that the 1660 manages both Full HD and 1440p with lots of detail and pretty smooth frame rate. And these are games guys that I've been testing with this PC. Now, building a gaming PC in 2021 is difficult, and I think all of you guys also knows this. Things are however starting to look a bit better, but there is still a way until we are back on track. Currently a used 1660 can be picked up from eBay running between $380 and $400, but if you'd rather pick up a new one, well, the cheapest 1660 I could find on Amazon is at $239, and that does appear to be the lowest they seem to go for, well, at least for now. Now if you're able guys to snag a 1660 pretty cheap, it is an amazing graphics card that we've seen from today's testing. Now here is what the final part list is looking like, and if you're able to pull the trigger on a 1660 for around $400 from eBay, you should get away pretty cheap here. Otherwise, you should be able to pick up all parts new for around $900 US, and that is by far one of the best price to performance upgradable gaming PCs out there right now, considering, yeah, the ongoing situation we're in right now. Now this is totally optional guys, but if you're interested in some extra customization and lighting, here is how you install the RGB. So what you want to do is you want to take the 4-pin RGB cable and plug it into the RGB header located at the upper right side corner. Then you want to connect both LED strips into the 4-pin cable. Now, much thanks to the LED strip magnets, you can move them around inside the case as much as you want until you found a spot you'd like. Once installed, you wanna download Gigabyte RGB Fusion to customize the coloring, and there are 7 color profiles to choose from in total. Now guys, this video took me quite a lot of time to complete, so if you enjoyed it, leave a like or a dislike, and make sure to subscribe to never miss any of my future gaming PC builds. Let me know if you have any questions, please let me know. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching.